Caicedo and Lavio, there was massive like debate, and I understood why Liverpool fans are losing their heads because Caicedo is a player that I wanted at Arsenal, right? When you look at the seasons of Enzo, Caicedo, Lavio, who hasn't kicked a ball, and Endo, you have to say Endo's had the better season, and we're in nearly March now.
Of
For
course,
a
yes.
snip of the price as well. How much was he?
For like 16 million?
16 million.
Crazy, man.
Ridiculous. When none of us could have predicted that, by the way. None of us. So, even
it was like watching Susan Boyle walk onto Britain's Got Talent. I expected her to be some fucking loony who didn't have a clue what she was doing. Exactly the same with Endo. And when he turned up, I stood there and I thought, this is brilliant. They've had to go out there, emergency, bring this lad in who's near 30. He's probably not going to have the engine. Wrong.
He's going to go down as one of the signings of the season. If he's not in the hat for top 2-3 signings of the season, it's ridiculous. And when I'm saying signings of the season, I'm talking about the fee, the package, all of it put together. I don't think anybody could say value for money. There's been a better acquisition in the summer.
You know what it is though, Errol, as well. Yeah, with these transfers, is like he come in with no expectation.
So that's not true though. He came in with an expectation that he was not going to be good enough. That's what I meant. The expectation was he wasn't going to be good enough for this team. So really, there was only ever an upside, really, wasn't there? That everyone had already braced themselves for this guy to be pretty average or pretty poor. So it was only ever an upside. When you're buying players like Enzo and Caicedo, you're spending over 100 million. The risk to reward, it's more than likely they're going to underperform that transfer fee. So there's probably an element of that as well, to be fair, because it's the same like with Grealish. Everyone slags off Grealish because he don't do much. You know what I mean? The only one really that's really worked out proper that everyone sort of agrees on is Rice. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously he's gone in for big money and he's absolutely slammed it. But I got to take something up with Dan here because you said
which Dan?
This one.
Oh.
Because you said at the start of this that you didn't have Liverpool favourites before the game.
I didn't say that.
You did. You said with the team that Liverpool put out, you didn't have them favourites.
No, I said with the team that Liverpool put out, a lot of people didn't give them a chance. But Chelsea, you never know what you're going to get with them.
Right. Well, these people, I don't know who these people are, but these people are idiots, mate. Because I have Liverpool to win it, because of one reason. They didn't. Chelsea have Pochettino. Pochettino completely screwed up that game for Chelsea, because Chelsea were actually doing all right in the 90 minutes. And then, it all went wrong when he took off Jackson, because Jackson was the only player for Chelsea who was making runs in behind. And although Kanate and Van Dijk were doing well against him, they knew he was there and they knew that he was making runs. As soon as he came off the pitch, you just seen the Liverpool players just push up the pitch. The defenders push up the pitch, and Kunku didn't make them runs in behind. And from that moment on, it was only ever going to be one winner. Liverpool was only going to win that. I can't believe that there's people out here today defending Pochettino, mate. This guy is a serial loser. I was looking at his record, like all his cup record. This guy's only won 2 trophies in his whole career, both at PSG. He bottled the final at PSG, by the way, So let's get that right. He lost yesterday. He lost the final with Spurs. Every time he gets against a decent team, this guy bottles it. And I've got people here trying to tell me, oh, well, the players should have won the game. This manager, listen, maybe if Chelsea had a better manager, maybe I would understand the argument for having Chelsea favourites. But with Jurgen Klopp versus Pochettino in a one-off game where it matters, and that starting 11 back for Liverpool was still very good. There was only ever going to be one winner for me.
Do you think LB is overhyped, Poch?
Pochettino, mate, is the biggest loser in football. I do not understand why people back this manager. I do not understand it. If you actually look and do research, rather than just go, oh, he got Tottenham to a final of the Champions League, and oh, he's great with the kids. What does that even mean, by the way? Chill out on that. He actually doesn't do anything, bro. He doesn't do anything. I swear down, if you go on Transfermarkt and have a look at this guy's cup history, it is dreadful. It is dreadful. Every time he comes up against a decent opposition, he loses.
LB, you need to get money for this because you always bring up Transfermarkt. They got to be paying you some money, bro.
Oh, it's the best website going. You know why, bro? Because if you actually do research, it's like with these Ten Hag people, when people was like, oh, Ten Hag was a great signing for United because he got Ajax to the semi-final. Yeah, they don't mention in that, by the way, that Ten Hag bottled it in that semi-final. And they don't mention what happened in the other Champions League campaigns. If you actually do research on managers and that, you'll find out a lot of them are well overrated. But yeah, congratulations to Liverpool. I can't believe that's got to be one of the most embarrassing defeats for Chelsea Football Club ever, because, you know, I had 4 academy players on there. Is that right, Errol, at the end of the game? Kwanzaa.
There was Kwanzaa. Bradley had went off, but he'd been subbed off. So
yeah,
he was obviously
at the end of the game, I think you had 4 academy players.
Yeah. There would have been.
That is embarrassing.
You know what? I've got to agree with LB. And it weren't long ago. Actually, it weren't long ago at all that I was disagreeing, saying I just don't rate this Chelsea side. But Pochettino has done me no favours at all in even thinking that he was doing half of these or didn't have much of a chance, because the choices he's been making have been weird, man. And I have to give some of the players stick, because some of their chances they missed were embarrassing. I don't know how Conor Gallagher didn't score. I also don't look at the Chelsea side and think, cool, how is that not getting in the Champions League, that side? Because it is poor. But you're right, LB. Pochettino was an embarrassment. The extra time was actually shambolic, atrocious, and abysmal, if I'm honest.
If you was an alien getting transported onto Wembley's roof last night, and you spoke the lingo, and you said one of those 2 teams, one in red and one in blue, you tell me which one spent £1 billion on their squad. Ain't no alien in the whole galaxy is going to put any money on that Chelsea team. I'm telling you.
Errol, and I said this, and I think I might have said this to you, LB, last week. I don't know that this has ever happened before, and I know no one spent £1 billion before. Not what I'm getting at. I don't know what to compare this to, is my question. This is the biggest embarrassment you can ever have.
This is what I said to you yesterday, Poch, though. They are an indictment to football institutions. Like, this is a lesson. People need to study this in university as a serious case review of failure at the highest level of elite sport. When you're talking about elite sports that are run as football institutions, the way they have run that club since the sale, obviously their hand was forced into doing that. But that's by the by. Since that acquisition has happened and gone through, they've spent over £1 billion. £1 billion.
It's got to go down as the worst thing. Like, you know, when Bale went from Spurs and everyone went, "Whoa, where's 95 million gone?" That was embarrassing enough. But imagine doing that 10 times over. Imagine spending that on a whole squad and still having no centre forward, still having no front three you rely on, still having no goalkeeper, by the way.
Well, the winger keeper, that Petrovic looks up. That was a stroke of luck, that, wasn't it? It's not like
that is a massive stroke of luck, because where did he come from?
Yeah, exactly.
America, MLS.
I don't know. That midfield they've spent ridiculous amount on. I honestly would not want that midfield. Like Caicedo, I like him a lot. I think he's a very good footballer. But since he's come to Chelsea, he hasn't looked like one. What is Enzo Fernandez? Because I was being told when the World Cup was on that this guy's better than Jude Bellingham. Well, that argument's put to bed already. I don't see how the hell this guy's anywhere near what Jude Bellingham's doing for club and country. But that's just me, maybe. This Enzo guy, he was one of the worst players on the pitch yesterday, I thought. I thought he was absolutely embarrassing. And, you know, like, I love Don. I've got a lot of time for Don, and he comes on here a lot. But I'm listening to him today, and he's saying that some wild things about him, that he's been cooking all season for Chelsea, that he'd rather take Mudryk over Martinelli because he believes in him. I'm like, what is happening here? Like, some of these Chelsea fans are believing this. I'd be shocked if I'm a Chelsea fan. I'd be devastated.
They've been sipping the Kool-Aid, mate. That Ben Chilwell's an embarrassment. Absolutely.
He was awful.
Hey, so you told me this morning, not Ben Chilwell, Don. You told me this morning, that apparently Chilwell came off because he was tired. Bro, I checked it, He got subbed off in 113 minutes. There was 7 minutes left. You're telling me that he couldn't play 7 minutes? That is ridiculous, man. But the thing is on this Chelsea, you just said, Dan, that they're not capable of getting top 4. And I probably agree with that, They're not capable of getting top 4. But they're a lot better than being 11th.
They should be in Europe, though. They should be fighting for Europe.
Be top 7 at least. And then you'll get people go, oh, well, what's the difference between 11th and 7th? Quite a lot. It also shows that you're making progress. Because last year you finished, 11th or 12th or 10th or whatever it was. So if you make progress, that shows me that you're going in the right direction. So it feels like some people I've
They
just
do
given up.
overhype their players a bit, though, LB, some of this Chelsea player. I mean,
Yeah,
this is a
of course
typical
they do.
example. Sophie, big up Sophia. This is actually what Don said, and I heard him say this. Enzo would get into Man City's midfield. You just move Bernardo to the right.
He
You're
wouldn't, though,
doing
would
me
he?
a favour.
Who's he getting in front of? Kevin De Bruyne,
Exactly.
Foden, Rodri.
Kevin De Bruyne or Foden or Bernardo. You just move one of them to the right. No, he's not getting in it. He ain't getting in it. He ain't that good. This is what I'm saying. He's a good footballer, I'm sure, but he ain't proved it at Chelsea. Caicedo, at the moment, ain't proved it at Chelsea. The players I look at in this whole Chelsea lot.
Can I ask you a question, though, Dan?
Go on, man.
What is the incentive? Let's keep it a book. What's the incentive to go to Chelsea and play well? There isn't one. No. You're getting paid anyway. You're already getting paid. You're already on some.
Do you not want to win trophies, though, Errol?
Bro, you're already on some death row contract. You're locked in for life. You're getting paid ridiculous money. You're living in London with bare distractions 24/24. What is the incentive to go out there and give your all for that badge when that club is an absolute shit show from top to bottom? There isn't one. I swear to God, there isn't one. There's not a real. You can say that you've got the football.
I think they're finished. I think they're finished at the club, man. Under this ownership, I think they're finished. I honestly think they're finished.
That's why they need that's why they need to not have a yes man manager. They need to have a manager who's going to stand up for themselves in front of the board, and when the board are trying to do something, say, "Nah, you're not having this." Yeah,
Jose Last Dance.
Yeah, and then same with the players. Let the players know it's unacceptable. And by the way, that Caicedo, yeah. Whilst I thought his defensive job, he done all right. His first touch is absolutely
abysmal,
shambolic, mate. It's shambolic for and you know what I mean? This is a £100 million player here. Yeah, he should be like Rodri levels. He should be like Kante levels. These sort of levels, man. And maybe with a bit of error here and there because he's still young and a bit of experience, right? Okay, his first touch is shocking, man. Yeah, I mean, and that actually gets him into a lot of trouble. Because his first touch is bad, and then someone comes storming in and he's steaming in for a challenge. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, listen, Chelsea
a lot of Arsenal players, a lot of Arsenal fans that wanted Caicedo over Rice, and there's a lot of Arsenal fans that thought he had a higher ceiling, and I was one of them. I thought, yeah, Caicedo's probably got a higher ceiling because he's 20 or whatever he was at the time, and Rice is 24, 25, going to be. Wow, no, man.
But do you know what?
I'm picking Rice over him, man, any day of the week.
Well, people like to talk about, ceiling this, ceiling that. How about just here and now?
Oh, I totally agree.
Everyone wants this.
I'm sick of hearing this. Ceiling.
Everyone wants to be in 5 years' time. Just win it now.
Yeah. And then, you can't even use the argument of the more proven player is more expensive because you got Declan Rice for 105 and how much was Caicedo? 115?
115.
Exactly. So, like, yeah, a lot of people just want to go down this get youth players in and that, which is I'm not for it, by the way, because it takes time for it to work and it might not work. And meanwhile, my club's out there, Errol's club's out there, Arsenal sort of flirting with it. We're actually trying to win trophies. So yeah, it's crazy, man.
It's mad. Like I got two more things on this before I move to Dan on and talk about another club that look like they're in the mud still. I mean, look at LB. I'll start with you on this one quickly, LB, and then I'll come to Errol to polish off on Liverpool. Then we'll move. When I think you and I were on the same wavelength in January of last year, and you went, "Why don't Arsenal just go boom, boom, boom?" And I was the same. I was like, "Look, we're linked with Mudryk and Caicedo. Just go get it done. Get these two players in. We got Jorginho and Trossard." Looking back now, I'm taking Jorginho and Trossard over these two. Because, I mean, Mudryk, it looks embarrassing, if I'm honest. And you've just mentioned Caicedo. Not that won us the league, and that is not the question. If you was to actually look at it now, do you think that Arsenal did the right thing in saving a bit of money and going in for Trossard and Jorginho? And what do you think they've actually brought to the team that Caicedo and Mudryk could have done at Arsenal if they would have gone?
Well, the one thing I would say is Caicedo and all these young players going to a Chelsea, which is an absolute shambles of a football club right now, compared to going to Arsenal or City, would be completely different.
Yeah,
you know, you probably, like you said it yourself, Dan. Enzo is a player. Like, we know he's a player. You don't get into the Argentina side. You don't get a move to Benfica and then get a move to Chelsea if you crap. You know what I mean? There's obviously a player in there, and if he come to City or he come to Arsenal, he'd probably doing a lot better than he's doing at Chelsea. I think that's very fair to say because, you know, he's in a more stable environment. You know, the difference is when you signed them players, bro, that was January. And January, I can give you a little bit more leeway because it is more difficult to get the players in, like the big players in January. Yeah, it's obviously the summertime, and to be fair, you did that to a certain extent because you got Rice in the summer. So you're not going to get like a Rice or Caicedo in January, really. Are you? I mean, it's unlikely to happen.
It's just like Trossard, Jorginho, and Kivior were bought in that January, and all three of them in the last 6 games have been quality. And I'm looking now, and if I'm honest with you, I was thinking, it's a bit deflating. I don't know who Kivior is. Jorginho, that's deflating when you link with Caicedo. Trossard, he's a good player. Quite like him. But when we were linked with Mudryk, he was supposed to be this big record-breaking signing. It was deflating as well. You look back now and you think, okay, fair play. All three of them have played a part. They've contributed into this team. And now it doesn't look so silly, was my point.